In this video, we're going to compare the Logitech Blue Sona to the Shure SM7B. Both of these microphones are designed for podcasting, live streaming, and vocal recording. And that's exactly how we're going to compare them in this video. In this video, we're going to do a whole bunch of different tests. We're going to use our scorecard to compare them. Then we're going to talk about which one of these microphones is right for you. In terms of setup for this video, both of these microphones are connected to the Rodecaster Duo. The Logitech Blue Sona is an active dynamic microphone, so I have 48 volts of phantom power turned on and 38 dB of gain. The Shure SM7B does not have phantom power turned on, and it has 59 dB of gain coming from the Rodecaster Duo. For both microphones here, there's no processing, EQ, compression, DS, or anything like that. You're just listening straight to the raw feed coming from either microphone to help you make the best decision. Now, price is a very important consideration if you are buying a microphone. If you do want to find the current up-to-date price for either one of these microphones, we have links down in the description below where you can find everything that you see here from a variety of online retailers to make sure that you are finding the best price possible. At the time of this recording, the price of both of these microphones is similar. The Logitech Blue Sona does go on sale fairly often, and you can find a good deal. So again, the links down in the description below will help you find a good deal here. Next, in terms of overall build quality and construction of these microphones, we'll start with the Logitech Blue Sona. The Blue Sona does have an all-metal body here. If you pop off the foam windscreen, you will see that this is an end address microphone. You speak into the tip of this microphone. There's a metal grill in here to protect the diaphragm of the microphone. You can see that there's a whole bunch of different holes in it, so it is vented. If you squeeze it, it does feel fairly sturdy. It's not quite as sturdy as the Shure SM7B, but I think it's still robust enough for you. As we move towards the rear of the microphone, there is a little hatch that pops off here. You'll find that there's a bass roll-off switch and a mid-boost switch. I don't like using either one of these switches in recordings for podcasting, live streaming, or vocal recording, so we're largely going to ignore these switches in this video. In terms of microphone mounting, you'll see that there is a metal half yoke attached to the side of this microphone. As you move up towards the microphone mount, you will find that it is fairly robust and easy to position this microphone however you want to position it. The XLR connector is conveniently located at the top of the microphone. It's pretty easy to make it look good, whether or not you hang it upside down or however you mount this microphone. The cable management is pretty easy to work with. For the Shure SM7B, it is a little bit heavier than the Blue Sona, but it is still an all-metal design. Underneath the foam windscreen, you're going to find a very similar looking design in here. There's a metal cone here with a whole bunch of holes to let the sound waves into the diaphragm of the microphone. As we put the windscreen back on and move to the rear of the microphone, you will find the similar two switches. You'll find that there's a low cut and a mid boost. Again, I don't recommend these for podcasting or live streaming. I think they're largely not optimized for these purposes. In terms of mounting the Shure SM7B, you will find that it's a full metal yoke here. You can take this off and flip it or invert it, however you need to position the microphone. As we move towards the microphone mount, you'll see that it is pretty easy to connect to a microphone stand. In terms of the XLR output is neatly run up along the microphone mount, so it does provide slightly nicer cable management than the Blue Sona. Next, let's take a look at the specs here. So the Blue Sona is an XLR microphone, but it's an active dynamic microphone. This means that it does require 48 volts of phantom power to work. There's an internal microphone preamp inside this that gives it a little bit of a boost, so the preamp on your audio mixer or audio interface doesn't need to work so hard. The polar pattern is super cardioid. This means that it is a bit more focused on the subject that you're recording. It should, in theory, be better at rejecting background noise, but we'll test that in a minute. It's an end address microphone with a frequency response of 40 Hz to 18 kHz. It has a sensitivity of -53 dB, max SPL of 129 dB, and it weighs 615 grams or about 1.3 pounds. For the Shure SM7B, it's an XLR dynamic microphone with a cardioid end address pickup pattern. It has a frequency response of 50 Hz to 20 kHz. It has a sensitivity of -59 dB, a max SPL of 180 dB. It weighs 764 grams or about 1.69 pounds. Now, in terms of frequency response, Logitech does not release a frequency response graph for the Blue Sona, but let's take a quick peek at the Shure SM7B just so we know what we're working with. We're only interested in the solid black line on this frequency response graph. The dotted lines here represent if you use those microphone switches. So we have a low cut here from 100 Hertz down to 50 Hertz. The low mids are left a little bit open just to give a bit of an openness to the microphone. From 1K to 4K, it's ruler flat. And then from 4K to 6K, you will see some spikes in the low air frequencies here. And then the upper air frequencies, you see a whole bunch of different cuts before it eventually fades off at about 11K or so. Now, so far, you should not have heard any plosives in this recording because the microphones are slightly off the side of my face, but let's demonstrate the worst case scenario for plosives in your recording. Peter put peanut butter on his pineapple pizza. 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 Next, we're going to do some background noise tests. This is what the Logitech Blue Sona sounds like if you have a keyboard and mouse going in the background. This is what the Shure SM7B sounds like if you have a keyboard and mouse going in the background. This is what the Logitech Blue Sona sounds like if you have rustling paper in the background of your podcast, live stream, or vocal recording. This is what the Shure SM7B sounds like if you have rustling paper in the background of your podcast, live stream, or vocal recording. Next, I find that the white noise test can be another really good indicator of the frequency response and the off-axis response of either one of these microphones. I'm going to test this now. Next, this is what the Blue Sona sounds like if you move this microphone up or down throughout your recording, podcast, live stream, or whatever you're doing with this microphone. Next, this is what the Shure SM7B sounds like if you move this microphone up and down throughout your recording, podcast, live stream, or whatever you're doing with this microphone. This is what the Logitech Blue Sona sounds like if you tap the microphone or boom arm. This is what the Shure SM7B sounds like if you tap the microphone or boom arm. This is what the Blue Sona sounds like with audio processing turned on the Rodecaster Duo. This will give it some EQ, compression, de-essing, and a couple other settings so you can hear the full potential of this microphone. This is what the Shure SM7B sounds like with the same audio settings on the Rodecaster Duo. This will give it some EQ, compression, de-essing, and a couple other settings to help you hear the full potential of this microphone. All right, I have the audio processing turned off for both microphones, so you're hearing the raw feed from both microphones again. Next, I'm going to do a blind test to again give you another way to help you figure out which microphone you like the best. No, it's not the computers. The computers were fine, and the answer to the ultimate question of life, the universe, and everything is indeed 42. The problem is that nobody knew what the question was. No, it's not the computers. The computers were fine, and the answer to the ultimate question of life, the universe, and everything is indeed 42. The problem is that nobody knew what the question was. All right, I just finished editing everything so far, so I've heard exactly what you've heard. And this was actually a really fun one. These two microphones are a lot more similar than I remembered them being, but spending the morning with them and comparing them has been really awesome. So let's go through my report card here and break down what I think is better and what's worse. So in terms of build quality, I think both of them are super high quality. I think both of them will last you a long time. I don't see any red flags with the build quality on either of these microphones. The Blue Sona is just a little less weight. It doesn't have that heft of the Shure SM7B, but that's no concern in terms of build quality. Feature set, all that, they have identical features. If you love the switches, I hate them. You can feel free to play with them. They have identical settings on the back of the microphone. They both look good on camera. I think build quality, they're both great. Now, in terms of plosives, this is where the Blue Sona is a little bit behind the Shure SM7B. I did notice those P and B sounds coming out a little bit more into the microphone if you're looking directly into the microphone. I'm marking this as fair because I don't think you need extra equipment. I don't think you need a bigger pop filter. I don't think anything like that. I think most recordings, you'll get a really good result It's just slightly worse performance than the Shure SM7B. In terms of noise rejection, I found them almost indistinguishable. They were really, really close on the keyboard test and the paper test. The super cardioid mode on the Blue Sona really does help, but the Shure SM7B's frequency response helps as well. I found them to be both excellent and both really good. Next, in terms of handling noise, the first time I grabbed the Blue Sona, my thumb hit the foam windscreen around the microphone capsule, but when I held the body of the microphone, this is the first microphone that we've tested against the Shure SM7B in this whole series that has outperformed the Shure SM7B. The Shure SM7B has that kind of low frequency rattle when you move the microphone. The Blue Sona does as well, but it's reduced, I would say, by almost about 50%. That's a pretty big difference. Normally, I mark the Shure SM7B as being excellent in this category, but compared to the Blue Sona for handling noise, I marked it as good. I just don't think it's as good as the Blue Sona in this one category. Next, in terms of frequency response, there's sometimes I think I'm listening to the Blue Sona and I'm actually listening to the SM7B, and there's sometimes I think I'm listening to the SM7B and I'm actually listening to the Blue Sona. I found throughout this whole video that the variance in my voice was more than the variance between these two microphones. There were times that I thought that the Blue Sona had a little bit more of the upper air frequencies, a little bit more clarity, the S's came through a little bit more naturally, a tiny bit less muffled, but later on in the video as I was speaking elsewhere, I didn't really get that same vibe. So again, I think just most of the variance is in me, and these two microphones are actually really close to each other. They both kind of have that broadcast dynamic, smooth, warm, rounded sound. Maybe the Blue Sona for my ears and my headphones that I was using just have a touch more clarity. There's no real problem with the S's or anything like that though. I think in terms of frequency response, if you were to compare the Blue Sona to the Shure SM7B, they are so close. And if you hear anything that I didn't hear, I'd love to hear your comments down in the comment section below. But I think they both sound excellent, especially for podcasting mics, live streaming, or vocal recording. All right, next we have price and value. I'm giving the Logitech Blue Sona here an excellent mark. I'm giving the Shure SM7B a fair mark. This is going to be a little bit controversial, so I'm just going to explain my thought process throughout this. So I glossed over it pretty quickly in this video, but inside the Logitech Blue Sona, there is an internal preamp. It's an active dynamic microphone. What this means is that if you have 48 volts of phantom power, which every audio mixer and every audio interface does, you need less gain in order to power the Logitech Blue Sona. This means that if you're looking at either one of these microphones, you don't need as nice of an audio mixer or audio interface in order to properly power this microphone. That means that for the price of this microphone, you can go with a less expensive interface or mixer. So that gives you even more value. Now, as we go through this spreadsheet comparing them, both of them have lots of excellent marks, and both of them have one fair mark in my rating system. But the Logitech Blue Sona does go on sale sometimes. So that does give it further value throughout the seasonality of the year. Logitech loves doing holiday sales and promotions, and you can actually see some pretty big discounts on the Logitech Blue Sona compared to the Shure SM7B. That being said, I have seen a sale or two in the last couple of years where Shure will knock $50 off the Shure SM7B. So there is some extra value there. I would say if the Shure SM7B was $50 less, the value in my mind would go from fair to excellent. Okay, so with all that being said, what do I actually think? If I had to buy one of these microphones as my only microphone today, how would I decide? First of all, as I already said, if either one of these microphones is on sale, to me, that's the tiebreaker. Buy that microphone because that will give you the most value. Secondly, when we're looking at the scoring system here, the Shure SM7B had better plosive protection, but it had slightly worse handling noise. To me, I would take that over the Blue Sona. My preference is to protect against plosives, even if it comes at the cost of a little bit of handling noise. To me, if all else is equal, again, that would be the tiebreaker on the side of the Shure SM7B. Also, it's worth considering here the legacy of the Shure SM7B. It's been around for tens of years. It's been recorded in every situation. It's a known quantity for what it is. It has a massive legacy behind it. The Blue Sona is made by Logitech, who are kind of used to cutting some corners with audio. And when they bought the Blue microphone brand, they changed it a little bit. They don't have the audio reputation that Shure has for pristine broadcast quality audio. That being said, the Logitech Blue Sona is a great microphone. It has a ton of value. It's only been around a year. We don't know the full legacy of this microphone yet. So again, it is a little bit superficial to play this card, but I think the brand value of Shure is worth something more than the brand value of Logic. So again, I would go towards Shure. That being said, if you do find a $100 discount, sometimes a $150 discount on the Blue Sona, buy that instead. That's my thought process. I would default to the Shure SM7B unless you get a really good sale on the Blue Sona. And to me, that would make the tiebreaker for me. I hope this video has been helpful. I hope that you got all the information you were looking for. If you do want to see more videos or comparisons for either one of these microphones, please do let me know down in the comment section below. Again, since price is such a big factor and it does change over time, I encourage you to check out the links down in the description below to help you find the best price possible. And if you want to see more videos like this in the future, please like and subscribe. Thank you for watching.